This is On Hand, a podcast answering your questions about all the things that make Michigan unique. I'm Adam Yahya Reyes. Last episode, we explored the idea that there may only be 4 Great Lakes. We talked to a hydrologist who said that a pretty narrow scientific definition would suggest Lake Huron and Lake Michigan are actually one big lake, though he himself tends to think of them as separate.
Most of the time I think of them as 2 lakes.
We also got some cultural perspective from an Anishinaabe man who spent most of his life on the lakes.
So in my mind, as a singular Odawa guy from living on Lake Michigan, to me they're one body.
That's the thing about the Great Lakes. Our relationship with these waters are about so much more than the labels we give them. So who cares if we say there are 4 or 5 or even 6 Great Lakes? Wait, 6?
How you doing, Adam?
Good, how about you?
Good. You can see why I love this spot.
That's Guy Sferlazza. Like many of you out there, this Shelby Township musician is a big fan of Lake St Clair. He thinks it should be considered one of the Great Lakes. We met at one of his favorite spots on the lake, a boat launch near Selfridge Air National Guard Base, to talk about it.
So this place for me, it's really sacred to me. You know, and all the bodies of water. I love Lake Michigan for the same reason. You know, you're out there on that lake, and of course Lake Michigan, you got the sunset, you know. But over here, you've got the sunrise. And though we can see the other side, and this is kind of the, you know, she has a shape like a heart. But I'm looking at this going, wow. You know, this is huge right here. So it's really just so beautiful to me, and it's such powerful nature. Like right now, it's very still.
We all have lakes that are, important to us. I got married on a lake, an inland lake in Plainwell, and that lake is really important to me in a lot of different ways, but it's not a great lake to me. Mm-hmm. Why, beyond the personal connection, what makes this a great lake to you?
Mm-hmm. It's the whole system of these waters. So, we start up with Lake Superior, that kind of comes through, and then it feeds into the Michigan and Huron, which then comes through the St. Clair River into this lake, but that goes down into Detroit, and then down Erie, and then into Ontario, and then of course you got Niagara Falls in that whole system. So this huge system of fresh water. So to me, in a way, it's all the same water. So this to me does represent the larger system, but there's something intimate about this lake, And she is quite a bit smaller than the other Great Lakes, but yeah, there's something super just intimate.
So what do you do when you come out here?
A spot like this, and I have many spots like this, I'm a nature boy, really. It brings me peace, it brings me power, it brings me inspiration. I'm always looking for tunes. I'm self-employed, so I always have a lot of busy work to do. So now that our phones can be internet providers, I can do my work right here 5 feet from the lake. And I also meditate a lot and pray a lot. So this is a great place to do that. So when I'm in prayer and meditation, and I do some stretching out here just before I meditate, let's say, so I'm communing with the lake as I'm praying, as I'm, meditating, and I feel like I can really receive in a spot like this, and have many times over the years, including yesterday when I was like, I got to write a song for Adam, and it should be about this lake. And
as he has done many times, Guy came to the lake for inspiration for a song that he wrote and produced over 2 days.
I was surprised when this first word came out, this first line. This first line is, in a world that rewards hate. It's a pretty strong first line. I'm like, whoa, hey, St. Clair, can't you give me a little, this is NPR, can't you give me something a little softer? She's like, no, baby, let's go. In a world that rewards hate, she has always been great and worth more than $1 billion billionaires. She surrounds us with her love. How many years and still she's young? Mother Earth produced the juice
didn't have to make her great. She's the heart of all these lakes. See it for yourself if you dare. When the sun is coming up, there's an ocean full of love. From sea to shining sea, she is there. Make her great, make her great, make her great. All the service to this land, all generations. The grand lake of the sweet sea, faith and beauty, the people shall decide. Make it plain in broad daylight. That's a great lake that you may have never seen. We proclaim her a great lake on this very day. When you're standing here, there's no compare. In this crazy mixed up world, take a break from the absurd. Find out what she's worth, the great Lake St Clair. Make her great, make her great, make her great, make her great, make her great.
Thanks so much to Guy for creating that work of art for us. We've got one more story submission to share. This one's really about the space between the lakes.
Hello, this is Candace Smith. My ancestors came to establish Holland and Grand Haven in the 1840s, and my family has been here ever since. One of my biggest memories is spending my summers on the Straits of Mackinac. There is an island called Boys Blank Island that is in the Straits on the Huron side. And my family had 80 acres of woods there. We had no running water.
So Candace says she and her family would bathe in the Straits,
Which was really, really cold.
Now she runs a tour company.
I take people all over the state, including to the Straits, and I take groups to Mackinac Island to let them feel what this magical place is that they never heard about before.
Thank you to Guy and Candace for sharing their special connections to these bodies of water with us. Be like Guy and Candace. You can submit your stories to share in an upcoming episode of On Hand. This week, we're looking for your stories about Traverse City cherries. Does your family have a unique cherry-picking tradition? Or do you have a cherry farm of your own? Email us about it at onhand@michiganpublic.org. Or you can fill out the submission form. I'll leave a link to that in today's show notes. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week with another episode. Bye-bye.